Hey everyone, I'm back here in Niagara Falls. I'm actually not too sure if you can see this right now because Niagara Falls internet sucks. This is really the only spot I could find that had somewhat decent phone service coverage. But if you can hear me, welcome to the stream. I'm here on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. Today's date is August 10th, 2024. I'm here between the Horseshoe Falls and the American Falls. So this is going to be kind of a awkward live stream, you can say, because I'm just going to do a whole lot of just standing around, because if I go just a little bit to the left or to the right, I cannot stream, especially if I go up to the Clifton Hill area or closer to the Horseshoe Falls. You can forget about that. But over here seems to be the sweet spot for live streaming, where there's still some decent upload speeds where I could just barely stream at 720p. But I'm sure you don't mind anyway. I can zoom in, zoom out, show you what's going on here. One thing is for sure though, I was here 2 years ago in October 2022. It has gotten so much busier here. There goes Maid of the Mist going into the Horseshoe Falls right now. The view here never gets old, the waterfalls. And from what I remember, this area didn't really have that great internet service to begin with. And now with so many more tourists on the scene, internet service is that much more throttled and being shared among all the users. Hey, Dean Butcher with 5 Canadian. Welcome to Canada Action Kid. Bienvenue à Canada. Thank you, Dean. Appreciate the support. I'm glad you're here. But I'm not going to be moving much here. Just standing around and showing you Niagara Falls. And it's not just me who's had service issues here at Niagara Falls. Many other YouTubers and content creators have come down here. They've also shared their experiences with bad internet service. But at least I'm here and I can show you I found a sweet spot and I'm not moving. Or if I do, I'm just moving a little bit, not too much, because I don't want to lose all of you. My phone has a good zoom and take a look. That's the Niagara Falls Observation Tower on the American side. Got some people lining up for the Maid of the Mist boat, which is down there somewhere. Yep, right there. And today was the second time I drove to Canada. I drove over the Rainbow Bridge from New York State. Took me about 7 or 8 hours to drive here from New York City. That down there is Niagara City Cruises, which is the Canadian side's version of the Maid of the Mist boat that we just zoomed in on. I have to say, Niagara Falls has gotten extremely popular. Many of the lines for these attractions, like Niagara City Cruises, the zip line, and Journey Behind the Falls, have long wait times now. You can imagine those people down there are getting a free shower. And I can't explain to you how thrilled I am to be here again. Philly in NYC asking if you can still drive to Canada with only a driver's license. Yes and no. If you have an enhanced driver's license, at least that's what New York State offers. I know a few other states have it as well. You can enter Canada with just your driver's license, but only by land or sea. That driver's license is not permitted to travel to Canada by air. You can also use what's called a passport card to enter, which is basically the same privileges as the enhanced driver's license for crossing international borders. That's what I use to cross Canada today, a passport card. It's very useful. It's a credit card sized card that you could just put in your wallet. But with that enhanced driver's license, to even get approved for you need to submit more documentation. Joe Dogo says, welcome back to Canada. Yeah, it's amazing to be up here again. Last time I was in Canada was when I went to Vancouver for a day trip from Seattle. And I can say, if you're trying to do that, a day trip to Vancouver from Seattle, don't, because there was a lot of traffic going there and a lot of traffic back, and also a hassle at the border. And I didn't really have that much time to explore in Vancouver when I did that. You can just see the crowd now. This isn't even the busiest part of the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. Also, there's some strange looking substance floating in the water down there. I don't know if that's seaweed or maybe some leaves or something floating in the water. I don't know what it could be, but it's down there. Nick Johnson asked if I'm going to do the Maid of the Mist while I'm there. It's an idea. I mean, seeing how long the lines are for these attractions, I may need to queue up for a bit. Maybe if there's a way to skip the line, I'll have a better idea of what I can and can't do here. But I'll tell you one thing. If I do want to go over to the American side again and come back, there's going to be a wait. There's a long wait for immigration coming back. I would love to walk from the United States to Canada again via the Rainbow Bridge. I did that 2 years ago, and that video actually did quite well. In that video 2 years ago, I started from down there, like where that staircase is. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's where those trees are. And then I went up the observation tower. I went over the American Falls here. And then I walked over there to the Horseshoe Fall side. Over there. And then I walked back all the way across, and then I walked over the Rainbow Bridge, went through Canadian immigration, and then I walked here along this side, and I ended up down there somewhere for that video. That was a pretty epic video. I don't think anyone's ever done that before, make a full-length video crossing over from the United States into Canada. Oh, and before I did that, I did the other version from Canada to the United States. I started from down there, and then I walked across the bridge and I went down there. So I made 2 videos, but the US to Canada version got more views and seemed to be more popular. And I urge you, if you haven't seen that video yet, to check it out, because it's quite amazing. I literally started right down there where the American Falls are, and you could just feel the waterfalls through the video. It's that intense. So this is sea foam, someone's saying, that is floating on the water here. So it is natural. Bunny says both sides are beautiful. It's just the one side, the city by it, isn't. I agree with you, Bunny. People like to compare both sides of Niagara Falls, and they're both beautiful by their own right. But I would say if I have a preference, I prefer the American side more than the Canadian side. I just felt it was a lot more natural and less developed. And now that I've experienced the Canadian side today, walking around here, I can most certainly say, just looking over there, the American side is a lot less crowded, and that may play into consideration for some people. It may ruin the experience if there's too many people. But the Canadian side, as you can see, does have a great view of all the waterfalls here just at a distance, and the Horseshoe Falls you can see at a better angle than I think than the US side. However, I would say the American side, this observation tower here is actually one of the best values that you can ever get. I think I paid like $2 or something like that to go on this observation tower, and people think, oh, this observation tower is annoying because you get a bad angle of the American Falls if you go over there, and then you have to like look over and see that. But the beauty of it is, if you take the elevator down, you can do it. You can go down to this level and just feel the falls and walk like right next to it, all on that $2 admission fee, which is insane. Here on the Canadian side, you have to pay $25 Canadian just to go next to the waterfalls like that. And over there, you can do it for $2. I think that was such a great value. And another thing too, since I mentioned it, that down there, where the people with the yellow ponchos are, that's the Journey Behind the Falls attraction. From the Canadian side. I will say that the Canadian side does have more lodging, food, and entertainment options, so it may be more family friendly. Hung Miao saying there's an abandoned ship called Niagara Scow. I'll have to see. There's Maid of the Mist going down the Niagara River. Interesting. Brenda went through behind the falls walk. It was incredible. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Blake 46 took NYC to Niagara Falls by Amtrak. That must have been a long ride. It took me at least 7 hours to drive here by car. And I had to go through 3 states plus an international border to get here. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Ontario, Canada, the border crossing at the Rainbow Bridge. Tony Moy says I can drive to Toronto. It's not that far. Yeah, from here it's like 2 hours. Let's see this group of people get wet. Oh gosh. What do you think, folks? Would you do this ride? I'll have to say, you don't even have to ride this boat to get wet. If you just walk along this pathway here, you're gonna get sprayed by the mist anyway. Jennifer Reeves, you did that boat ride as a kid and it scared me. Lisa did that ride on Made of the Mist, you wouldn't do it again. If you just walk over here a little bit, I'm gonna zoom out. If you just walk to where that sign is, you're gonna get wet. That's how powerful the waterfall is. I mean, not as much as if you're taking the boat straight in there, but you're still gonna get wet. In fact, I was even driving my car here on this parkway and it got water on the windshield. And that's on the opposite side of the road. That's how powerful these waterfalls are. That even my car got wet on the road. All this foam is just like bunching up over here. I don't even know if it's foam or seaweed. Book Girl NY saying going behind the falls is awesome. I'll certainly have to think about it. If I do want to do any of these attractions, I can guarantee you one thing, that I'll probably be waiting for a while. Kevin Pack says nostalgia, you're going to drive up there next week. Amazing. DN says, will I be there in the evening to show the falls lit up? I may even wait here, to be honest, just for the entire time until it gets dark. It's not that far off anyway. Sunset is almost here. Of water plummeting into the depth. Water plummeting